Hello everyone. So in this video we will be looking into question of chapter number 3, that is user defined methods, where the method that it is given we have to return some type of value. So the question is, create a class cube which take input of a number from user in main method using scanner class, and that class should contain a calculate method which calculates the cube of the number and returns the value to the main method. So we have to create two methods inside one class, and the class name is cube. Our first method should be main method, where we will be taking input of number from the user, and second will be the calculate method, which will be taking a parameter of integer type of the number that user has entered, and based on that number we will be calculating cube. The value of cube that we will be calculating will be thrown by that particular method, and then we have to store that particular value in the main method. Now let's take the program and try to solve it. Public static void main I will be taking here. I will write the scanner statement, scanner sc equals to new scanner system.in, and then I will write print statement just to know that we have to enter number, and I will store that number in one variable n. So this will give us the number which user wants to enter in the program. So now we have value stored in n variable which is declared in this main method only. Now I will create object of this class. So the class is cube. So I will take cube c equals to new cube. So in this way we are creating object c of class cube. Now we have to call the method which is calculate. So I will create the method which is having a parameter as intn, which was mentioned in question. Now I have already told that whenever we have to return some value, then we have to decide which type of value will be returned. If the value that we will be getting is of int type, then int will be written here. If the value that we will be getting is of boolean type, then boolean keyword would be written here. Now in this program we are taking input of a number and we are calculating the cube of the number. If the number entered by user is of integer type, then the cube of that integer number will also be integer. So the answer will be integer type. So I will write here integer. So our statement becomes public int calculate int n. I will take another variable num here, and I will pass this n value to this num variable. I will take one variable c1 which will calculate the cube of the number, and we know that cube is multiplication of a particular number 3 times. So I am writing the formula, that this is the formula to calculate cube of that particular number. Now we have to throw this value from this method to this main method. So to do this kind of operation, I will use return keyword along with what value I have to throw. So I will write c1 because c1 has the value which has to be given to the main method. Now c1 will have the value of the cube of the number that user has entered. So in order to catch this value from here, I will have to give a variable here which will store the value of cube. So I will, let's say, take variable z which will store the value. Now how it will store the value? So I have to call the method and pass the value of n. So for calling, we know that we will be using object name dot method name. Object name is c dot calculate, and we have one parameter in this method, and that parameter stores the number which user has entered. In this case, we have the value of number in n variable. So we will write here n. So when number is entered by user, for example 5, then 5 will be stored in n variable. This will go here, this will pass the value n as 5 over here, this will send value 5 to this will transfer it to num variable, num will have value of 5, 5 multiply 5 multiply 5 will be done, answer would be 125, which will be stored in c1 variable. Now this c1 variable will send this value from this method to here, and z will catch that value, and now z will have the value of 125 because the value of c1 is returned by this particular method. And if we try to print the value of z, then we will actually have the value of cube of the number that user has entered. So first will be our class name over here. Then we will be having the declaration of all the variables that we have used in this method, not this one, because this is a static method. Only the variables which we have used over here would be declared here. Say int num and c1, not n, because this is a parameter which is used over here, so we don't need to declare this variable. So num and c1, these are the two variables which will be declared over here. So first would be class name, then method calculate, and then after main method. Also we are using scanner class over here, so import statement would be here, import java.util.scanner. This is how we have to develop this program. Now let's go into BlueJ and I'll show you the output of this program. So this is the program that I have written. Now let's try to execute this and see the output. Now here the program is asking for the number to be entered to find the cube. Let's say we enter the number as 4. If we try to execute this, we will get answer as 64, which is exactly correct. If I enter number as 6, then the cube of 6 is 216. So 216 should be the answer, and 216 we got. So this is how the program with return type are developed, and there will be a one question from this user defined methods chapter. And this is the basic that you need to know before we proceed to method overloading program. So if you have any query related to this program, then you can ask your query in comment section. And if you have any other question that you are not able to solve, then you can send your question on my mail ID. And next we are going to see another program based on this similar concept. So see you in next video.